Now on Sunrise, authorities revealing new details in the shooting that killed a 13-year-old boy in his sleep in Gresham. What police say happened just next door that led to a stray bullet going through the wall.
And we're following two alerts today. One for the continued winter storm warning hitting the Cascades. The second alert for more heavy rain showers, this time maybe some hail to hit Portland. All of that coming up in my forecast.
At this point it's, win or go home. So, we're pumped for the opportunity.
We are just 2 days away from the college football playoff semifinal where the Oregon Ducks look to prove themselves against Indiana. We'll hear more from the players as KGW Sunrise starts right now. It's a KGW weather impact alert day as the Cascades brace for feet of snow. Here's a time lapse from our Timberline Lodge sky camera, gradually frozen over the last 24 hours. There's also a weather impact alert for heavy showers, including hail around our area up and down the I-5. Good morning and thank you for joining us live at 7 o'clock. I'm China Green. We do have team coverage this morning. Reporter Thomas Schultz is right now up on Mount Hood checking out the snow conditions for us up there. But first, let's go to meteorologist Rod Hill. Rod, you are tracking multiple alerts for us today.
I am, and please realize right now it's a little deceptive because we're kind of at a lull in the action. This will be the quietest part of your day. During the morning hours, everything starts to ramp back up, and especially this afternoon in the Cascades, heavy snow rates for hours will be returning. The snow, there's one of our Timberline live cameras. They now report 16 inches of new snow. So over a foot. The temperature is at 20 degrees. Chris will have more on the travel conditions, but obviously that's government camp. The highways are snow packed. 28 degrees there on the Highway 26. And here is the winter storm warning in purple for both the Washington and the Oregon Cascades at this point continuing into the day tomorrow. Now to the valley, they'll get another foot of snow today. For the valley, we have an alert up through 7 p.m. Again, right now it's pretty quiet, just a few scattered showers, but passing downpours, maybe some hail return later this morning through the afternoon hours. So that will catch your attention. It's all because of a second front coming in, and there's a second front offshore, and it's actually producing some lightning right now. So a quiet 42 degrees currently, heavier showers, maybe some hail, 42, 44 degrees throughout your afternoon. Here's Chris.
All right, Rod, yes, up to the mountain, Highway 26, of course, snow covered through government camp. And what that means for you and the 6,000 of you or so that travel over the passes each day, you need chains or traction tires for about a 25-mile stretch from milepost 50 near government camp to 75, getting over towards Warm Springs. Also, Highway 35 has that chain or traction tire requirement. These change frequently throughout the day, so check tripcheck.com for those frequent updates. Meanwhile, we do have a traffic alert in the Twilliger curves. I-5 northbound right now. A crash has the left lane blocked here just north of the Twilliger on-ramp. You can see the left lane there is tied up. ODOT incident response on the scene there, and the traffic very quickly backing up now all the way towards Capitol Highway. So we've got about a 2-mile backup on I-5 northbound, and that has meant that the drive-in from Wilsonville has jumped up to about 31 minutes at last check. China, back to you.
Chris, thank you. All right, your time now is 7:03. Sunrise reporter Thomas Schultz has now arrived at Timberline Lodge. I don't know what you're doing, but what are you seeing out there?
Well, China, look, crews are busy out here, okay? And they're building up these snowbanks, clearing the parking lots. But what that does is that creates a great place to lay down out here in Timberline Lodge, especially if you're dressed for this weather, right? Let's zoom out here, show you a little bit of what we're talking about with this huge snowbank that they've created for us. Very gracious of Timberline Lodge to do that. Of course, they are preparing for a big ski day today. Get that nice shot of Timberline here as they are getting ready. We showed you the parking lot half an hour ago. It's still pretty quiet for people interested in coming and getting their ski season going or continuing it today, but it is starting to fill up a little bit more. People are trickling in. Johnny, down at government camp, we ran into some skiers earlier this morning. They're hitting the slopes today. They've been doing it all year long. One of our guys, Joe, a snowboarder, had a whole lot to say about what he's hopeful for today.
It just changes where we ride. We're just going to chase the powder, whether we hike up or not. But we're probably going to hike up, a little out of bounds and catch some fresh powder.
And Joe also, look, I'm not a skier or a snowboarder. During that interview, he kept calling it POW as well. So I think I'm going to start incorporating that into my lingo as well. So I've got shredding. I know stoked is a little bit of an older one. So POW, nice fresh pow up here on Timberline. And look, as Chris was mentioning as well, if you are driving across the passes today, if you are on 26, you're going to want to you need chains or traction tires, something to make sure that you are prepared. But again, skiers already and snowboarders starting to arrive here at Timberline Lodge, that is, getting ready for today with 16 inches of fresh snow on the ground today and plenty of fresh pow as well, Jada.
Our Thomas Schultz reporting live for us this morning. Thank you, Thomas. And in Central Oregon, people at Mount Bachelor also excited about the potential 4 feet of snow, or I guess we're saying pow now. This is a video from the mountain yesterday. Officials say teams will be working to expand terrain there as conditions allow. So stay with KGW as we continue to track weather impacts across our region. You can find the latest here or anytime on our website at kgw.com. Now to your other local headlines, we are learning more about what authorities say happened the night a 13-year-old was shot and killed in his sleep. Police say Liam Spanley Bailey was hit by a stray bullet at a Gresham apartment last spring. At a bail hearing for the two of the 3 suspects, that is, officers testified that 5 people were meeting at the apartment complex to trade guns. Police say 2 people in the group tried to steal guns from 2 others, which led to a shootout. One of the bullets went through the wall and hit the victim.
Certainly this is a chaotic situation where you have individuals that engaged in a lot of dangerous behavior, and then unfortunately a young member of our community paid the price with his life.
A decision on bail has been pushed to next week. Portland police say that they've arrested burglary suspect after a nearly 6-hour standoff in southwest Portland. Authorities say the assault began around 5 o'clock last night when a man says he found a stranger in his apartment. He ran out and called police. The suspect then barricaded himself in a bedroom. Police say they were able to arrest the suspect just before 11 o'clock. No word yet on the person's identity. Well, developing this morning, a Gresham gymnastics coach is in jail, accused of sexually abusing 2 children. Police arrested 56-year-old Eric Stinson right there after they say former athletes reported they experienced inappropriate sexual behavior. Court documents listed 2 victims under the age of 14 and allege the incidents happened from 2012 to 2016. Stinson is listed as a director of gymnastics at Northwest Gymnastics Training Center in Gresham. He now faces 5 charges, including first-degree sex abuse and sodomy. We've reached out to the training center for comment, but so far have not heard back. Washington County is declaring a state of emergency due to a landslide damage impacting Highway 6. It's an issue that began last month when a landslide forced the closure of a stretch on that road. Sunrise reporter Corey Johnson joins us live with what county commissioners are asking for this morning. Good morning, Corey.
Good morning, China. That's right. The state of emergency was declared last night during a Board of Commissioners meeting, and it went into effect immediately. Now, it came after Highway 6 closed for a short period of time last month because of a landslide and sunken roadway, cutting off travel between Portland and Tillamook. Now, this morning, it's open to only 1 lane as the eastbound stretch and shoulder between milepost 33 and 42 remains blocked off. Now, the Board of Commissioners is now urging the governor and state lawmakers to step in and take action. Commissioners want state leaders to access any available FEMA or Federal Highway Administration money to help pay for long-term safety improvements they say could stabilize Highway 6. And the board is also pushing for Highway 6 to receive increased priority so both state and federal funding can be secured sooner rather than later. A move that was specifically recommended in the Oregon Highway 6 Wilson River Highway study. Now, during last night's meeting, the board stressed that they hope state and federal officials will prioritize this issue. Coming up at 7:30, we hear more from commissioners on their concerns regarding Highway 6. Back to you.
Corey, thank you. And today's weather impact alert is for heavy showers, including hail around our area up and down I-5, and then for a winter storm warning for heavy snow in the Cascades, Rod.
Yeah, and again, this is the quiet part of our day, so don't step outside thinking, oh, this ain't so bad, because things will get really active again. Yesterday, took the rain a while to get going, and that kind of surprised me, but the front did come in on cue early evening, and that's when we had a 41-mile-per-hour wind gust at the airport. Rain totals from yesterday into early this morning, 75 and 100s in Portland, over 2 inches in Tillamook. So it eventually worked out kind of on cue. Now, we have the second front, that's this batch of rain right here coming in. And this is why I have the impact alert still for the valley, because this will fire up more rounds of passing heavy rain shots, maybe some hail. And there's actually been quite a bit of lightning activity along this second front already this morning. And some of the lightning strikes up farther to the north are right along the Washington coast. So this approaches into the valley through mid-morning. Here we are at 8 o'clock. There it is. Could be some lightning along the coast with that. And I suppose I can't tell you there's not going to be any lightning in town, but I really feel like here in Portland, Vancouver, and Salem, the better bet is that this gives us a shot of heavy rain with some hail mixed in potentially. This is late morning, 11 o'clock. And then during the afternoon, see, there's a spotty heavy shower, maybe with some hail. It's scattered precipitated on Longview. And then the Cascade snow rates around noon today just pick up, and then it's just heavy snow more than not falling throughout much of the afternoon. So again, the storm warning continues for the Cascades, impact alert, and then the impact alert for the valley as we await later this morning our next round of heavy passing rain that could contain some hail. 39 right now, the Providence Park camera. It's upper 30s generally to low 40s. A few spots have been cooler. Oregon City 39, but Silverton, the cold spot at 36, 41 in Salem. It's a mix of rain and snow showers depending on timing and elevation, central and eastern areas today. A lot of you will be only in the 30s for highs, but we'll be in the 40s here on the west side. 44, the impact alert. West winds, kind of 25 miles per hour. Calmer shower day tomorrow, no alert for Portland. And then we're all dry Friday, Saturday, Sunday into the first part of next week. Here's Chris.
Rod, thanks for that. We pick it up with a pair of traffic alerts, one in the Terwilliger curves. This is I-5 northbound. An earlier crash has just been moved within the last 30 seconds, has been moved to the shoulder, but there are still some significant backups around that. I'll zoom in and I can show you that we're basically lined up for about 2 miles from Terwilliger, or just north of Terwilliger, all the way back to Capitol Highway. So northbound I-5 is going to take certainly a few minutes to unwind there with the traffic. Meanwhile, on the Sunset, another crash here inbound. This is eastbound near the Jefferson exit ramp. The eastbound left lane is blocked, and now that has traffic pretty solidly stacked up out towards the Sylvan Hills. So with that in mind, the trip in from Hillsborough has jumped up to 20 minutes at last check, and the drive north from Wilsonville now about 33 minutes on I-5 northbound from Wilsonville Road into downtown. China?
Chris, thank you. 2 years after a Tigard mother of 5 was killed in a hit and run, 2 breaks in the case led to an arrest. We speak with the detective for details on that. And the Oregon Ducks take on the Hoosiers in the Friday's Peach Bowl. How the team is preparing. We have that coming up.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus.
We are counting down the days to the Peach Bowl, where the Oregon Ducks are set to take on the only team to beat them this year, the Indiana Hoosiers. And there's a lot on the line, with the winner going on to play for a national championship. Tim Gordon has the latest.
Just last week, a sweet victory in Miami. The Oregon Ducks defense shut down 4th seed Texas Tech at the Orange Bowl. And the Ducks offense, slow to start, got in its touchdowns in the second half.
Yeah, that trophy was super heavy. A lot of oranges, of course. But yeah, it was a great moment.
Still, offensive MVP Dante Moore said he wanted more.
Yeah, as a quarterback, of course, you want to get the ball in the end zone. You want to score touchdowns, put points up. But yeah, I mean, Texas Tech defense was amazing.
From amazing to so far unstoppable, Oregon now faces the Indiana Hoosiers, who have yet to lose a game this season, including the October matchup with the Ducks at Autzen Stadium, where Indiana did something that hadn't been done in a long time, delivering Oregon a loss at home. As players hit the practice field this week, that may serve as motivation, according to 2 of Oregon's top defenders.
So it was a good wake-up call, and I think the rest of the season leading up to this point is a pretty good testament to the way we responded to that loss.
Props to them for what they've done, but I definitely have my own kind of feelings about the game and that team and stuff. So excited to get out there and play.
Although the stats don't prove it true, there is a saying, it's hard to beat a good team twice in the same season. And Oregon is a very good team. Through all kinds of injuries and adjustments, they found a way to win. Kenyon Sadiq quotes the coach.
Lanning says about every day in practice, there's going to be someone that shows up that hasn't all season. That's so true. So, there'll be someone this game that has a great game, but that just shows, once again, the depth of our roster, I think.
And now on to Atlanta and the Peach Bowl on Friday. The Oregon Ducks looking to keep climbing their way to the top.
We're excited. Everybody's feeling healthy. Everybody's ready to get going, and we're going to see what happens.
At this point, it's, win or go home. So, we're pumped for the opportunity.
Tim Gordon, KGW News.
And check out what the Ducks will be wearing when they take on the field in Atlanta on Friday. All white uniforms with green and yellow accents. Each jersey, of course, carrying the official Peach Bowl logo. And it's not just the Ducks that will be in Atlanta for the game. KGW sports reporter Orlando Sanchez will also be there. He'll be covering all the action starting tonight and throughout the rest of the week, leading up to the big game. All right, returning now to our weather impact alert with heavy snow in the Cascades and some winter driving reminders for you. Be on the lookout for the signs telling you when chains are required and other option traction tires. And as you're driving in snowy areas, watch out for snow plows. If you see one, be patient and don't pass them. Take it slow, drive with your lights on, and reduce your speed. Also remember to check road conditions and the forecast before you leave. All right, Rod, you got a lot to talk about right now.
So always check road conditions. With that said, the road conditions today are a slam dunk. They're going to be totally snow covered, and ODOT will be out plowing as new snow falls, but that's a situation all out kind of winter driving. 16 inches of new snow is what Timberline says they have, or they measure it at the resort. 20-degree temperature. There's the 16 inches of new snow. Similar amounts. I think it's like 13 at Meadows reported. And Ski Bowl, on their main face, you get up into 8 inches of snow. Earlier this morning, our Thomas Schultz passed through government camp, and he said they had about 6 on the ground. The winter storm warning is not done yet. This is a 1-2 punch. Punch 1 came yesterday afternoon into the night. Punch 2 comes later this morning into this afternoon with a second front. Storm warning, Washington, Oregon, Cascades is actually up through the day tomorrow, as there will be continued low snow levels for past level snow accumulation and more moisture on Thursday. For today, another foot plus will fall. Again, that's mainly this afternoon into the evening. West winds 15 to 30, past temperatures and resort temperatures staying below freezing. If you haven't seen this yet, pretty impressive. This is the rain that fell yesterday into current time. 75 100s in Portland, 2.22 in the Gage and Tillamook. An inch in Newport, about an inch and a half in Astoria. Not as much as you drop down the South Valley, Eugene, 32 100s. But you move north, and there's Kelso at 82 100s, and Seattle just below 3/4 of an inch of rain. It was the front that came in late yesterday into the evening. It kicked up those gusty winds. I know it took the rain a while to get going, but eventually we had a pretty good shot of a storminess. Here's a look at where we are right now. Kind of a lull in the action. In fact, only flurries at most up in the Cascades right now. But you can see this little curvature of cloudiness and the rain band. That is the second front. It has produced 22 strikes recently, a lot of lightning. Absolutely the chance of lightning along the coast as this moves in. There is some lightning just offshore from the Long Beach Peninsula right now. And here's the way Futurecast shows it. That rain band offshore starting to move into the north coast in the 8 o'clock hour this morning. The 11 o'clock hour this morning, it comes into Portland. I suppose I can't tell you there won't be some rumbles of thunder. I feel like the better bet is it's just heavy rain showers. Could be some hail with it. I think during the afternoon as the precip goes more scattered, see these bright spots? Those would be potential hail showers. So turning into just one of those chilly kind of rock and roll days. You'll get some noticeable winds from the west as those showers move through. Then the heavy snow we talked about continuing in the Cascades. Showers continue tonight. Gentler showers coming through the area during the day on your Thursday. This shows we could get another half of an inch of rain all total coming into Portland. There's Chinook Casino Resort in Lincoln City. Chinook Winds Casino Resort. 44 today's high. We're sitting in the low 40s right now. Still looks like after tomorrow we go all dry into the weekend. Here's Chris.
All right, Rod, again, with the snow talk up in the higher terrain, a reminder, chains, traction tires required basically east of Government Camp on Highway 26, about a 25-mile stretch of that. Also, several miles of Highway 35 under that chain or traction tire requirement. Also, not to forget about our friends here in Eastern Oregon. Interstate 84, of course, gets up to 4,000 feet. And this is another area that is under that winter storm warning. This is a snapshot from just east of Pendleton, and can't see really anything there. They've got snow and blowing snow there and a temperature of about 28 degrees. So be prepared for messy travel there. Down low, we had an earlier crash on I-5 northbound in the Terwilliger curves. That's been cleared to the shoulder, but the drive really thick on I-5 northbound now. It's basically stacked up for about 2.5 miles from Terwilliger back towards Capitol Highway. So the trip in from Wilsonville right now has jumped up to about 45 minutes. Also, inbound Sunset, a crash near the Jefferson exit ramp has the traffic there backed up to Sylvan. And right now that drive is coming in at about 26 minutes from Hillsborough. China?
Thank you, Chris.
I was really trying to make sure that I do my due diligence and get justice for the family.
A woman has been arrested more than 2 years after she allegedly hit and killed a Tigard mother. Now, just a few small tips from the community helped investigators track down the suspect. Next on Sunrise.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
Now to an update on what may be a step towards justice for the family of this Tigard mother of 5 who was killed in a hit and run more than 2 years ago. A suspect has now been arrested after investigators say they had just enough information from the community to make an arrest. Alma McCarty has the update.
I'd always kept like a newspaper clipping.
That clipping affixed to the wall of a Tigard police cubicle.
So I keep it at my desk, and it was just a reminder for me to make sure to follow up on anything that comes in.
Detective Casey Mace explains this was the longest open case she had. The hit and run death of Maria Negrete, a mother of 5.
I was really trying to make sure that I do my due diligence and get justice for the family.
Justice after so long without answers or even leads. Negrete died in the hospital 2 days after being hit by a car on Southwest Hall Boulevard, just north of Fawful Street on September 18th, 2023. Her family gathered there days later with this message for the driver.
He could have just stopped if it was an accident. He's just making it worse for himself. We just want justice for Maria.
More than 2 years on, investigators announced an arrest on New Year's Eve of 37-year-old Ashley Wolf. This after 2 breaks in the case.
In October of 2024, we had a tip come in that led us to the suspect vehicle.
Tigard police got a second tip in April 2025, corroborating evidence about who was behind the wheel of the car.
After that, we were able to do some more investigating, and ultimately we were able to forensically tie the vehicle to our victim.
Investigators emphasize how anonymous tips do make a difference.
Ultimately, that's what broke the case to us. If somebody has information, it's very important to let the police know.
Oh yeah, those ski lifts, they're moving, and we are up here on Timberline Lodge this morning with 15 inches of fresh snow on the ground. I'll tell you how skiers and snowboarders are feeling about that fresh powder.
KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus.
We have now issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yes.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover. I'm meteorologist Rod Hill. Welcome. We still have a winter storm warning in effect today and tomorrow for the Cascades, including Mount Hood. They've picked up over a foot of snow. They could get another foot today. Heaviest snow starts to pick up again in the afternoon. Of immediate concern is this. 71 lightning strikes now. This is lightning activity that continues to increase. This band of rain is a second front, and you can see intense lightning now crossing into the Long Beach area up into Washington. So we're keeping an eye on that. That front will move into the valley and bring us some heavy rain later this morning. Maybe some thunder and lightning, maybe some hail as well. There's Timberline. You see flurries up there right now. Temperature is sitting at 20. There's our state capitol down in Salem with some showers in the area. Right now, it's pretty quiet in town, but again, we're watching the lightning approaching the coast. Expect some heavy rain showers, hail, maybe some lightning later this morning into the noon hour. Chris has traffic.
All right, a pair of traffic alerts. Here's one of them. I-5 northbound, earlier crash in the Terwilliger curves. It's just cleared to the shoulder. The traffic there lined up back to Capitol Highway.
We begin this half hour with a weather impact alert. Heavy rain on the way for Portland and the Valley, and a winter storm warning in effect for the Cascades. Taking a live look from our Wells Fargo Skycam as we welcome you here. Meteorologist Rod Hill joins me now. So it is the calm before the storm you've been talking about.
Yeah, certainly up in the Cascades where it's just flurries right now for the most part, but heavy snow's coming into the afternoon. And for the last few hours, there's been some scattered showers here in the Valley. But of immediate concern, and this is my focus right now, is the second front coming in where you see the steady rain offshore. It is turning into a big lightning maker. Currently 48 strikes, 71 strikes we've seen over the past half an hour. You see some intense lightning up around the Long Beach area. So you folks at the coast starting to get under the gun with that. Now to the Timberline, look at, they've got 16 inches of new snow. Here's downtown Portland right now. Temperature is 42. We have the impact alert as heavier rain, maybe some hail, maybe even some thunder picks up later this morning into the afternoon. Now, up at Timberline Lodge, our Thomas Schultz has been spending the morning. And Thomas, just take a moment and describe the weather conditions you're experiencing up there.
Well, Rod, I got to be honest with you. Your accuracy today, and really every day, is off the chart because it started flurrying, and all of a sudden in my ear I hear Rod Hill saying, "It's flurrying in the Cascades now." So look, it is starting to flurry a little bit. It's about 20 degrees up here, so quite a bit cooler than we saw at government camp, and it's a little bit windy, but nothing too crazy. Here's the thing though, those ski lifts are in full swing so far this morning. We're just starting to see people trickle in. We just showed you where I'm standing. This is a pretty relatively empty parking lot at the moment. Of course, we expect that to get a lot busier throughout the day, but there are some people already here, already getting ready to hit those slopes, get some shredding in this morning and throughout the day with 15, 16 inches of new snow on the ground. We talked to one guy, Joe, a snowboarder down at government camp. He was waiting for the bus to get up here. Here's what he's looking forward to today.
It just changes where we ride. You know, we're just going to chase the powder, whether we hike up or not. But we're probably going to hike up, you know, a little out of bounds and catch some fresh powder.
Yeah, fresh powder, kind of the name of the game up here in Timberline Lodge on a day that a lot of people here have been waiting for in the ski season. Again, over a foot of new snow on the ground here, and it's continuing to, you know, flurry a little bit. As Rod has been mentioning, we're expecting more to come in throughout the day. But if you are a skier or if you are a snowboarder, really a lot to look forward to today. China.
Our Thomas Schultz reporting live for us this morning. I think they call it Freshy Fresh Pow Pow or something like that up there. We'll find out for you. If you're planning to head to the Gorge anytime soon, you'll definitely want to be cautious up there. The Forest Service says while many trails are open, they can still be very dangerous. Recent storms have knocked down trees and saturated the ground, meaning there is still risk for landslides even when it's not raining. So Chris McGinnis is going to join us now with more on the traffic impact that we are seeing out there.
Yeah, well, for starters, we've actually got crash cleanup right now here in the Terwilliger curves. I-5 northbound, earlier left lane blockage there. That crash has been cleared to the shoulder, but we are lined up all the way back past Capitol Highway at this point on I-5 northbound. So you're going to need extra time there for sure. Meanwhile, on the Sunset, a crash just cleared on the inbound Highway 26 drive. That crash near the Vista Ridge Tunnel, or I should say near the Jefferson exit ramp. That's just now out of the way, but you can see we are lined up and pretty thick all the way back to the Sylvan Hills. So with that in mind, drive times shaping up like this: 33 minutes or so in from Wilsonville, just shy of 40 now to get you in from the Hillsborough area. And as we deal with the latest storm, remember that we are still dealing with the aftermath from earlier storms, and with that means areas of major state highways down to one lane, like US 101 in Lincoln County and Highway 22 near Mill City down to one lane. Corey Johnson's actually out on Highway 6 out in Washington, on the border between Washington and Tillamook County, with an update on the landslide situation there. Good morning, Corey.
Good morning, Chris. That's right. Last night, Washington County Board of Commissioners met to discuss a state of emergency, which they ultimately declared. That went into effect immediately. And this came after Highway 6 closed for a short period of time last month because of a landslide and sunken roadway situation that cut off travel between Portland and Tillamook. Now, one lane has since been reopened. A crew out here just told us moments ago it's going to be down to one lane for probably another 10 to 12 days, so long as nothing else happens weather-wise. Now, the Board of Commissioners is now urging the governor and state lawmakers to step in and take action. Commissioners want state leaders to access any available FEMA or Federal Highway Administration funding to help pay for long-term safety improvements they say could help to stabilize Highway 6. The board is also pushing for Highway 6 to receive increased priority so both state and federal funding can be secured sooner rather than later.
Highway 6 is in serious disarray, has been for quite some time. This Highway 6 is the #1 priority of the Northwest Transportation District. This has been a considerable concern for us.
Now, as those eastbound lanes along this stretch remain closed, pilot crews are out here helping to usher vehicles back and forth over that damaged stretch of roadway, and that state of emergency is set to expire on April 6th. Back to you.
Corey Johnson reporting live for us this morning. Thank you, Corey. We do have more traffic news this morning for folks who take the Burnside Bridge. Listen up. Today and tomorrow, expect more bridge lifts than usual as crews conduct their annual electrical and mechanical inspections. The lifts will last between 15 and 20 minutes and will happen throughout the day, so plan your route accordingly. The last of the Oregon National Guard troops that were deployed to Portland by President Donald Trump have now been ordered to demobilize. The official order comes nearly a week after President Trump announced that he'd abandoned efforts to deploy the Guard in Portland, Los Angeles, and Chicago. In September, the Pentagon mobilized 200 Guard members from Oregon and 200 from California with the mission to protect federal buildings in Portland following protests at the South Waterfront ICE facility. But they never hit the streets. Instead, they were in training while the case played out in court. A federal judge eventually permanently barred the president from deploying troops in Portland. Albany police say 2 officers shot a person while they were responding to a domestic disturbance. When officers arrived at the home on Twins Lane on Northwest around 11 o'clock yesterday morning, they say they encountered someone holding a knife. That's when 2 officers fired their weapon, hitting and wounding the person. No word on their condition. The 2 officers have been placed on administrative leave. Meantime, former Portland Police Chief Chuck Lavelle has a new job with the Port of Portland. The port confirmed that it hired Lavelle to serve as captain on the force. Lavelle became the chief of Portland Police in 2020 and stepped down in 23 to become the assistant chief. Last month, the city announced that he was leaving for another law enforcement job, but didn't say where. And according to OPB, Lavelle started with the port on December 30th. All right, we will return to the winter storm warnings for the Cascades. Rod Hill joins us again. Rod, a lot going on for you.
Yes, and more on the Cascade storm warning coming up. Right now, I'll tell you, there's just flurries up there. They have 16 inches of new snow at Timberline. Another foot's expected this afternoon. I'm going to jump to of immediate concern, and that's this secondary front, which is the band of clouds you see right here, now starting to throw rain inland into Washington. And look at all the lightning, a tremendous cluster of strikes, some 66 strikes in the last 30 minutes, a lot of these up around Long Beach. We have a history over the past handful of years that when we get these clusters of lightning strikes along our coast, that at times they turn into little mini windstorms. We've even had some weak tornadoes come out of some of these. So this is eye-catching. You folks pay attention to your surroundings. You can see the lightning extends all the way southward in this band. So some rough weather starting to hit the coast in the next hour or so. Here's 8 o'clock showing that rain band, probably more inland than what Futurecast is showing right now, but that is heavy rain. That same band coming into Portland in the 10 o'clock hour this morning. Could be some thunder and lightning with it. I feel like the best bet is the lightning threat stays along the coast and Portland gets heavy rain and maybe some hail. I think during the afternoon we will get spotty hail as snow rates also pick up this afternoon up into the Cascades. Here's Lincoln City, Schnookman's Casino Resort. There's our temperature, 42 in Portland, 41 degrees in Salem. And here's our impact alert for incoming heavy rain that could contain some hail and breezy winds later this morning and into the afternoon. Now I'm going to toss it to Chris. But yeah, Chris, we get these lightning clusters along the coast, and sometimes it really leads to more problems beyond just the lightning, sir.
Yeah, we'll be on the lookout for that for sure a little bit later on this morning. For now, Rod, we are still pretty active on the roads after some earlier crashes. So I'm going to start off on the inbound Sunset, Highway 26. Just east of the zoo near the Jefferson exit ramp. I think if you look closely, you'll see some flashing lights there. That earlier crash, has been cleared to the shoulder, but traffic really thick there. Also, in the Terwilliger curves, I-5 northbound, we had a crash there about a half an hour ago. It still sits on the right shoulder, and traffic there is stacked up about 2.5 miles past Capitol Highway. So with that in mind, the drive in from Hillsborough now is up to 36 minutes, and the drive north from Wilsonville, 40 minutes on I-5 northbound. China?
Chris, thank you. Only one more month to go until the Milan Cortina Winter Olympics. Are preparations on schedule? We'll find out after the break.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
We have now issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yes.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW Plus.
The countdown is on. We are 30 days out from the Winter Olympics Games in Italy, which will be airing right here on KGW. In Milan, workers are racing against the time to finish construction of some of the venues, but organizers say there's no cause for concern. NBC's Claudio Lavana has more.
As you can see, it has been raining heavily here in Rome and in other parts of Italy, but still the Olympic flame has been burning its way across the country in the hope that in a month this rain will turn into snow. With only a month to go to the opening ceremony, the Olympic torch slowly making its way to Milan and Cortina. From Rome to the ancient ruins of Pompeii, where a familiar face joined the relay, to the mountain slopes in the middle of Italy. For many torchbearers, a moment to remember, especially for Mattia Occhinero, a local boxer who on Sunday revealed that alongside the torch he was also carrying a wedding ring. His future wife said yes to his question. But there is another question around the Olympics that remains unanswered. Will all the venues be ready on time? In Milan, workers are racing against time to finish construction of the main ice hockey arena. And even the ice rink was criticized for being slightly smaller and wider than in the NHL. The International Hockey Federation said the differences are insignificant. But in a press conference last month, the NHL's Bill Daly voiced concerns.
It's all about just making sure we have ice that is safe for our players.
Organizers promise all will be ready on time as opening day approaches. In the meantime, they revealed that Mariah Carey will be among artists performing at the opening ceremony in Milan on February 6th. No doubt all the athletes will want for the Olympics is gold. Among the athletes aiming for gold are, of course, the NHL players who will take part in the Olympics for the first time in 12 years. Also, Lindsey Vonn, who staged an amazing comeback from a 5-year retirement, and now she aims to become the oldest ever alpine skier to win an Olympic medal. And, of course, Michaela Schifrin, who also came back from an injury in 2024, stronger than ever, and she is now once again among the ones to beat.
And check out this video from Anchorage International Airport in Alaska. Switching gears to weather now. Ongoing winter storm there. Brought back-to-back records on Monday and Tuesday with some areas getting over 9 inches of snow. The heavy snow did cause significant delays at the airport. Not going to see that at PDX, but we do have some weather going on at least.
That just looks cold.
That
doesn't
looks
it? That tarmac looks
depressing. Horrible.
cold.
Yeah, very cold.
All right, our winter storm is ongoing. We have the storm warning from the Weather Service in purple, Washington Cascades, Oregon Cascades, still up today and up into the day tomorrow as well. There's a storm warning out toward the blues as well, winter storm warning. So far, the reports are 16 Timberline, 13 Meadows, new snow from the storm. Thomas Schultz says about 6 at Government Camp. Ski Bowl's front face has about 8 inches of new snow. And we think that while it's mainly flurries this morning, heavy snow returns and it snows more than not at a pretty good clip this afternoon into this evening as colder air continues to move in. And that will drop another foot plus of snow up there, certainly at the resorts where temperatures will remain below freezing today as the winter storm warning continues. Cascade passes are buried under snow, as you would expect. Okay, here is the second front, and it is a fast mover, and it is producing stormy weather. Here's Doppler radar. We've got scattered showers in the valley. Overall, it's pretty quiet, not much wind in the valley. But this is now taking over the headline. Look at this trail of lightning all the way offshore. And if you're wondering, why is there no rain way down here? The radar doesn't go out that far. But the lightning detection does. And you can see all that lightning. Right now, Long Beach getting hammered with morning thunderstorms. Here they are, especially now more so up into Ocean Park. And I said earlier, as a forecaster in this area for the last 5 years or so, when I see these clusters of lightning strikes, especially if the ongoing threat continues for an hour or two, we have a history of getting at least so many windstorms, at times water spouts, at times even F-0 tornadoes. So this should catch your attention and realize if you're watching us from Newport, there's all that lightning offshore from you as well that could be moving in. Here we are at 8 o'clock this morning showing the main rain band starting to move into the coast. In the 10 o'clock hour, before 11, here's that rain band now moving into the valley. Heavy rain expected, some noticeably breezy winds, maybe some hail, and I think the best chance of lightning actually stays at the coast, but I can't guarantee that. I do believe, here we are at 2 o'clock, as the rain becomes more scattered, these waves of heavier rain coming in, see the bright colors? Those would be hail showers, and there is the heavy snow picking up for the winter storm warning in place this afternoon in the Cascades. Weather models show from today through tomorrow, now tomorrow's a quieter day, but we'll still get precip with showers, that we pick up about another ½ of an inch of total rain in Portland. With showers in the area, 42 is the current number. With lightning, especially just north of Astoria, 43 is your number. It's just holding above freezing in Bend and also out in Baker City and Burns currently. So again, heavy showers later this morning, hail, maybe some thunder, west winds, temperatures in the mid-40s. Statewide, it's mainly 30s out east, the 40s here on the west side. Everybody has precip in their forecast. Starting Friday, we are all dry and into the weekend. Okay, that's your update for now.
Rod, thanks for that. Let's take you back up to the mountain. This is a little different vantage point. This is east of Government Camp, actually Highway 35 near Mount Hood Meadows Drive. So this is up just a little bit higher, around 4,400 feet. And it's just a reminder that 2 sections of those roads are under snow or chain requirements. Highway 26 from Government Camp to Warm Springs and Highway 35 south of Parkdale up towards the Highway 26 junction. These change a lot during the day, so check tripcheck.com for frequent updates. And to Rod's point about the snow also in eastern Oregon, remember that Interstate 84 gets up to 4,000 feet as well. The Blue Mountains are under a winter storm warning as well, and traffic there is obviously going to be impacted by winter weather. So be prepared for that. All right, the Sunset inbound still pretty thick after an earlier crash near the tunnel. I-5 northbound still a little slow because of an earlier crash near the Twilliger curves. In fact, we're up to 47 minutes now to get you in from Wilsonville to downtown. China?
Thank you, Chris. The city of Gresham has sworn in the first black fire chief in the department's history. Catherine Cook takes a look at the new chief's rise to the top.
For the city of Gresham.
For the city of Gresham.
To the best of my abilities.
To the best of my abilities.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Jeff Hairston is Gresham's first black fire chief. Tuesday's swearing-in ceremony, surrounded by his family and community leaders from all over the region, was something Hairston never imagined 19 years ago when he became Gresham's first black firefighter.
It's a privilege, honor. You don't want to wait till 2006 for it to happen, but I take it very seriously.
Hours before the ceremony, Hairston walked us through his office and back in time to some other firsts. His grandfather, Sam, the first black player on the Chicago White Sox. His father, John, the first black catcher on the Chicago Cubs. Hairston himself played ball for the Yankees and Pirates in the 90s. That was before he became a teacher and before he became a firefighter. His father is proud of him.
You know, it really didn't surprise me because he was a hard worker. He'd done things all his life, and he always had to not struggle, but work for it. See, it's the will of a person. It's not so much the skill or the speed or whatever. It's the will of a person.
Like Hairston's will to keep trying after a short stint with the Portland Fire Bureau. They let him go during academy. Hairston's not ashamed of that. He's proud of how he tried again and succeeded with Gresham. And he's proud of the example he's setting now.
The way that you conduct yourself, the way that you face adversity or even success determines on how people follow you and they model it.
It takes a lot to step forward. It's a difficult role to be in, to go from being one of the guys to being the leader of the guys and gals.
Assistant Chief Mike Traeger has been with Gresham for 37 years and watched Hairston rise through the ranks.
He has really excelled at being able to show that he has a vision and what he'd like to do.
Hairston is ready for all of it.
So one thing about me is you won't get a quitter. You'll find a guy that can figure a way.
Chief Hairston says his first focus out of the gate is to improve public outreach, to make sure firefighters get into more schools, visit apartment complexes, make sure places are as safe as they can be. He says the community and the people who live in it are his priorities. In Gresham, Catherine Cook, KGW News.
1 year ago, massive wildfires destroyed thousands of homes and killed 31 people in Southern California. The fire department is now reflecting on what went wrong and the changes that need to be made. We'll be right back.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
We have now issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yeah.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW Plus.
Today marks 1 year since devastating wildfires ravaged Southern California. The Palisades and Eaton fires burned more than 37,000 acres and killed 31 people. Los Angeles Fire Chief briefed officials ahead of the anniversary, reviewing what went wrong and the lessons learned.
The outcome has made it incredibly clear that our mop-up and verification process needed to be stronger. We have to own that, and I do.
Events are also being held this week to help provide financial support for rebuilding efforts. Now to your morning rush. President Donald Trump says Venezuela is set to turn over millions of barrels of oil to the United States. In a post on Truth Social, the president says that the oil will be sold at market value with proceeds controlled by the U.S. to benefit the people of Venezuela and the U.S. This follows the U.S. capture of Venezuelan leader Nicolas Maduro and his wife in a military operation over the weekend. The Department of Justice has released more information about the man they say killed 2 Brown University students and an MIT professor. Investigators say the suspect confessed in a video that he had been planning the attack for at least 6 semesters, but, quote, always chickened out with earlier chances. He did not provide a motive or apologize for the attacks. And for the first time since 2013, the Smithsonian National Zoo welcomed 2 sloth bear cubs on December 7th. They just released some of the photos of them. So the sloth bears are considered a vulnerable species facing challenges like habitat loss and poaching. The zoo says that the cubs are born blind and spend most of their time sleeping. Their eyes are open. They open at about 1 month old. And that's your morning rush. Coming up at 8 o'clock, KGW Sunrise continues live on KGW Plus with a gymnastics coach now in jail. What former athletes are accusing him of.